Hi, I'm Carrie Barrett. I'm a business development specialist with Board Studios, where one of our initiatives is to help companies' leaders and managers connect with their employees through bite-sized videos. Today, I'm joined by Dan Taylor, who is the partnership manager of 15Five. He's been working on employee engagement for a total of 3.5 years, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
It's very good to have you with us. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's great to be here. I'm happy to be talking about employee engagement today.
Absolutely. It's changed. It's turned from something that used to be a nice to have into something that really is a need to have, especially as employees and employers have more opportunities than ever, and the job pool is perhaps bigger than ever as well. So before we jump into all of the tactics and the strategies and the tricks and all that other stuff that you've learned through your time working in employee engagement, if we could get a little bit of your background and how you got started and involved in this particular area.
Yeah, absolutely. So in my background, I've been in a few different roles, in the corporate world and also kind of in the startup world. And so that led me to take a job in HR tech and through my work in partnerships, both with about 2.5 years working at Bamboo HR and now over a year here at 15Five. I've had a chance to really focus on HR tech tools that give people a chance to engage with their employees at a deeper level, give employees a better experience at their place of work so that they're able to really dive in deeper, understand their goals more fully, engage with their coworkers and with their manager on a deeper level, have more job clarity, things like that. And I've really seen a difference. And using these tools, even myself, we're using our own tools, at these companies I've worked at, where I'm able to see that difference firsthand.
What gets you excited? I mean, it sounds like you're really seeing some actual change and some real value for employees, but I guess to follow up on that, what is it that really sort of like gets you going? And then what specific impact have you seen? What sort of impact can it have on organizations, either ones that you've worked with or ones that you know about?
Yeah. So the first part of your question, what gets me excited? I think the core of it is really when you see a company that makes a change for the positive and it affects individuals' lives. And I think that's the most exciting of all is when, there's people who can be more excited to go to work, or they can feel that they have a better situation that's going to spill over, and it's going to create a better life situation for them in totality. So, that's the most exciting, is when you can make a positive change for people and for companies. And then, you asked what type of impact are we seeing? I think the impact is huge when people really commit to employee engagement and they really dive into it. You can see big changes along the lines of boosts in productivity, drops in absenteeism, and improvements in employee turnover. Those are three that come to mind, especially. And all three of those, have an impact on a company's bottom line. So it's easy to recoup an investment that you make in employee engagement, and you can see those tangible results in that real return on investment there.
So how do you do that? I know it's not just one or two things, but how do you go about, engaging your employees? I mean, it's more than just like platitudes and putting a poster up on a wall, right? Kumbaya. How do you actually do it?
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, there's a ton of different strategies. If you go look online, there's going to be all kinds of different ideas, but the ones that I'm really focused on are the offerings that 15Five, the company I work for, we go about it in a few different strategies, and the ones that we really focus on is employee engagement surveys. So you're gathering information on an anonymous basis. So you're getting information, you're asking employees how they're doing, what they're focused on, what are things they'd like to see change, and our product has some preset surveys that make that easy. And so once you've got that information, the company helps you kind of analyze it, find the blind spots, find the gaps, give you recommended actions, next steps to take. And then you follow up on those surveys as you go. So that's one way, kind of some engagement surveys. Another is kind of this idea of continuous communication, continuous performance management. Whereas in the old days, you'd see kind of more of an approach where people would set some goals maybe at the start of the year and largely forget about them and then check in on them at the end of the year and say, you know, how do we do? Let's take a look. And obviously that's not super ideal because there's not a continuous focus on those goals. So one of the things that we suggest is creating a cadence that's natural that allows you to check in on these goals throughout the year. You know, whether that's a weekly check-in, whether that's a monthly check-in, whatever works for your company. But in this case, you're able to you know, talk with your employees or talk with your manager and say, hey, this goal we set, it's no longer relevant. Let's shift, let's change, or, you know, I've got this small problem. Let's fix it right now before it rolls into a big problem. And then, you know, you check in at the end of the year and say, well, I didn't get to my goals because, you know, X happened in June and now we're at, you know, month 12 and it's totally out of control. So these small check-ins can allow you to really communicate, I think, on a closer level, and it allows you to just kind of be more in tune and be more agile, more effective, quick moving, and it allows employees to know that they are being heard, and so
Yeah.
they have this deeper level of engagement and closeness to the business.
Right.
And then kind of the third thing that our company suggests is being able to set effective goals and be able to collaborate on those goals and have those be a part of your check-in. So that's kind of the third part of our tool that we offer. And you know, 15Five offers tools to help make these possible, but these are things that anybody can do, and these are ways that we've seen effective usage of your focus and your investment in employee engagement.
I absolutely love that. And you sort of ran through some of the best practices and the things that you do. And you also touched on one of the things that doesn't work, which is like, hey, everybody, here's our big goal list in you know, January 1 or 2. And then, you know, December 27th rolls around and we realize, oh, we have never actually followed up on any of that. That doesn't work. Are there other mistakes that you see people, companies making consistently when it comes to that, you know, aside from that?
Yeah, I mean, you bring up that point, and I think, you know, related to that, you see, you know, like a performance review where, you know, you can't remember really the goals you've set, and also you can't really remember the performance. If you're reviewing one time at the end of the year, you'd say, well, let's do a performance review. Okay, all I can really remember is what happened in December, whereas they may have done things a lot differently in January. So if you kind of have a record kept of these quick check-ins, you'll be able to go back and reference, say, oh yeah, we had that big project in March, and here's the notes from that. Or maybe you're running performance reviews quarterly so that you have a kind of things more fresh in your mind. So I think being able to have more effective performance reviews that people don't dread, that's something that we see a lot, is people either are just not doing performance reviews, which is a big mistake because you know, a lot of people really, they want to know, they want to have information, they don't want to be left in the dark. Or if they are doing performance reviews, they're doing ones that people really dislike and that are not driving engagement to a deeper level. So that's one that comes to mind kind of immediately for me.
When you say performance review, I feel my heart start to beat faster.
Yeah,
I never
exactly.
had a bad one, but they still stress me out. I
Yes.
never enjoyed them. Let me ask to take sort of a quick little peek behind the curtain and ask you, are there any projects or initiatives that you are working on maybe for the remainder of this year or the beginning of next that you're excited about?
Yeah, so a big focus of what I do is building integrations. So 15Five is a tool that's you know, as we've discussed, it's used to help people engage deeper and to perform at a higher level. And we want this tool to connect with other tools out there, so it creates kind of a more seamless experience for the company. So they're not bogged down in 25 different tech tools. We want to make all these tools connect with each other. So I'm really excited about connecting our tool with other tools out there. So you'll find that this 15.5 is very connected, and the information transfers easily between our tool and the leading HRIS tools out there, productivity tools like Salesforce and Slack. So I'm focused big on building connectivity with our company and with other companies, and we're also building connections with HR consultants and advisors and people out there. So I'm really I'm excited to talk to new people and to build new connections and kind of make it a more effective tool. So that's what's going on with me.
Exciting. Let me ask you something that's maybe not so exciting. Any sort of big pain points that you have, things that you maybe wish existed, or perhaps missed opportunities that you've experienced?
Yeah. So things that I really wish existed. There's always opportunities out there. I'm just trying to think of something good right now. But I think,
Sorry.
yeah, no problem. I think there's always ways to connect on a deeper level, and I guess I wish that there was ways to just kind of get everything you need in one place and have it all there and readily accessible. And so that's kind of why I do focus on building these connections is to make it step by step closer to having just one system that's going to manage everything you need, quick and easy, kind of at your fingertips.
Yeah. Let me ask you this one or maybe two more questions. Any trends that you're seeing in employee engagement?
Yeah, I would say a big trend that I'm seeing is as time goes on, some of the things that really worked for employee retention are kind of shifting. And some of the things that really affected employees' work experience would have been like their wages, their work environment, their benefits, their vacation policy. And those were the things that companies really used to attract employees to the company. And obviously those are still very important, but they're almost more like the table stakes at this point in time, whereas people are looking for things beyond that now. They want to have coaching conversations. They want to have mentors and people who are going to help guide them through their career. They're looking for effective and positive feedback. They're looking for, like we talked about earlier, changes to the performance review that make it more effective and more useful. And I think they're seeing, looking for kind of a pathway that their career could go. And so these are some of the things that I'm seeing trending in the workplace as people are looking for a little bit more solid careers and little big opportunities for themselves.
Let me ask you one other question, and this is sort of I'm asking you to riff maybe for a little bit,
Totally.
unless you don't have anything to riff about. But is there anything that you think is important for people to know? Anything you'd like to discuss that we have not touched upon?
Yeah. So I would say important for people to know is just that I think I touched on this a little bit earlier, so hopefully it's not repetitive, but I think companies can be really hesitant to invest in something like this because it's viewed as kind of an extra or something that you're not necessarily, it's not going to be a sink or swim situation. But I think to shift that mindset, there is just such a big opportunity when you invest in your employees and you invest in engagement and you invest in retention and performance. You just get so much back from it. And it can be hard to see from the start, when you're still getting into it and you're looking at ways that you're going to throw time, attention, energy, or resources into employee engagement. But if you take a big step back and you just look at what kind of the overall situation is, you're either going to invest in your people or you're going to lose them to other companies. And I think just keeping that long mindset in place of hey, if I invest in my people, it's going to be better for my company. We're going to make more money. We're going to have happier employees. We're going to attract other top talent.
Mhm.
And it's just going to snowball from there. And so I think, putting, whether it be tools or whether it be processes or whether it be, things that are going to be fun for your employees, whatever your strategy might be, throw yourself into it, give it the time and resources that it deserves. And if it's something like 15/5, that's what I'm most familiar with. But I know there's a lot of strategies out there, but I just encourage people to take a look at it and be sure not to neglect the area of employee engagement.
Dan Taylor, you were amazing. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. Great talking.
You too.